Hello, friends. Today we are going to learn AWS DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a NoSQL database, and it is fully, managed by AWS as a database services. So let's start with. In this series, we learn in a very basic way, like what is DynamoDB, how to create the tables in the AWS console, how to insert data and scan the data, how to query the data. These are the fundamentals to start with the DynamoDB. And later in the series we understand like how to create the index, how to optimize our database creation, what is single table design, so and what is the capacity of read and write, and how the performance get managed by these points, this configuration. So let's start with this. So as I told you, DynamoDB is a fully managed SQL database services which provides a fast and predictable performance with the seamless scalability. What does it mean that we don't have to care, right? Normally is with SQL database, what happens in AWS, suppose you are deploying one application, it is having one database, and when with the time when load is getting increased on your or on a database side, or hit is increasing, a user is coming more, so you have to scale your application and database as well. So it's all, you have to manage this by yourself. Like you create create another instance of the database, you make connections, and you register your services in a ALB, so that request get moved. So in this way we are a lot of config work is there. So but in DynamoDB is fully managed by AWS. So what we have to do in that, you just have to create a table. You don't have to take care of like how it will be scalable, how performance will be managed, how connections will be managed. So all this you manage by itself. AWS will take care of that. So that's why it's a very its performance is very predictable. That's why you all like what is the worst, in worst case, what will the performance of my database. So everything stats, you are aware of that, so we don't have to care about that right now. And later we'll see like how to create the database and insert data into that. Since it's a NoSQL database, so the data can be in any format. So I'll show you with some example. And DynamoDB is very much popular with the gaming and IoT products, because where data is coming very frequently and in any format. Normally in SQL, what happened, we know that if a person table is there, there is one ID, there are some fixed column and data is coming there. But in this, the person ID is fixed, that's fine, because it is stores in a key value pair. But a rest, apart from the keys, the rest columns is not defined. We call it as attributes. So this attributes is not defined. If some, it may be name is coming in the next record, name may not be there, so that node is not there. So that's why this is very much compatible with this type of applications. And gaming, ad tech, so all based on where you need data very live, and streaming of data is the rate of data is very high to keep on in database. So we have to understand that, and DynamoDB is very much compatible with that. So before moving to the practical step, this is what we are some terminologies that we need to understand. So when we create tables in a free tier limit, in that what happens, there is a two terms we came across, RCU and WCU. This is a read capacity unit, and WCU is write capacity unit. So by default this is 5 and 5. It means that uh, it means that one you can read a record, one record per second, right? And this record, the size of the response of this, you can say, item, the size of the item should be up to 4 KB. If your size is, if your data more than 4 KB, then it will divide, it's a basic unit of it. So whatever item sizes that you are fetching, it's get divided in the 4 KB unit. Suppose one response there, if it is less than 4 KB, so it's gonna take 1 second. If one response is there which is 5 KB, so you're gonna take 2 seconds. So you can understand that. So, and 4 KB record is very much higher, and the JSON format, if you write in data, 4 KB is a good amount of data. So this is what I have written. A read capacity unit represent one strongly read. One term is the strongly read unit. Means uh, I mean, it's a database, so maybe some services are modifying data, some services are putting the data. So whenever you are try to fetch the data from the DynamoDB, so if you want, whenever I fetch the data, it must be, the latest value. I mean, strongly enforcing DynamoDB that whenever you give me data, give me the last one, the latest one. So this is called strongly read unit. So, and this capacity is one strongly unit. If you want to read, it's gonna take 1 second. What another is that is eventually read unit. What does it mean? That it 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 allows you or it gives some gaps, like whatever data you are asking at that moment, whatever data will be with me, I'll share this data with you, but I'm not guaranteed on that this data will be the latest one. So this way, I mean, based on the scenario or application, what is the design we used to define these parameters. At one more point, we need to understand that strongly read unit is always costlier, and eventually read unit always cheaper. So it's you can understand that the eventual read capacity becomes, I mean, double of the strongly read unit. So in 1 second, it can read 2 unit of data, while in a strongly read unit, it will read one record per second or one item per second. In the same way, there is a write capacity unit. You can write data 1 unit per second. Again, I mean, the same points we again have to reiterate here: strongly and eventually. So if it is strongly, this is 1 unit per second. If it is eventually, then it will be around double of this size. So I have given one scenario, like suppose your unit is divided in 1 KB, right? So once, suppose your data which is you are going to put is less than 1 KB, then it's gonna take same time. I mean, it's not going to take more than 1 KB or less than 1 KB time. It's the same as because it's a separate unit. Whether unit is completely occupied or let some bytes are left, it doesn't matter. So after this, we will try to add records item. Then we'll put some queries and query table. We'll understand that in our next session. I mean, I just am about to open the console. So let's open the console. So let's create the tables in our console. So I'm opening my console here. So when you log in your console, you'll see the screen, and I have to find out DynamoDB. Just search the service and click on that. Okay, so these are the dashboard of the DynamoDB. So I create a table. This is some existing table I'm already having. Let's create the new one. Here to give the table name, I'm giving one student, and here primary key, and there is one more word is written, partition key. So just right now you should understand this, like in the hash map, what happens when you pass any key. So it we calculate the hash value, and based on the hash value we calculate the location of that particular memory part where this data is going to be saved, right? The same way, partition is just the hashed key of the primary key, right? So right now that is enough for understanding to proceed with to proceed with our demo. Here I will give one partition key as a primary key. So I'm giving it one ID column, and let's take it as a number, right? And right now I'm leaving this short key. I'll come to this later. So when you go down, you have a default setting. So what happened in default setting? No secondary indexes. That fine. I mean, only one index will be there. That is right now partition key. provisioned capacity set to 5 read and 5 writes. Provision capacity is nothing but when you predefine your capacity, this is called provision. And in this free tier limit, this is 5 and 5. There is another mode to define a capacity, that is demand capacity, where you have left everything to the AWS. If it is crossing particular threshold, just increase by capacity. It may be up to 10, up to 20, I mean. So in this way we can increase this. So as for this learning purpose, I'm not touching that. And alarms, this is, I mean, when it is crossing the threshold limit. So you can create your SNS, or by default it also provides some SNS, but you have to create. If you want that, then you have to come out of the free tier limit and you have to enable it. So let me create this table right now. Table is being created, you can see here. So just let's wait until it being created. Okay, so table has been created. This is a table dashboard, right? So in this you can see that stream is enabled or disabled. So I mean, other services which is going to use this data as a stream, like Kinesis is also a service which is provided by AWS to streaming the data to calculate and to do computation on that database. So let's leave it as it is. This is the items here. It will show you the record. Items you can consider as a row, and attribute consider as a column. So let's create one item in this. So here the column will come which you have defined as indexes, whether it's a primary index or primary key, whether it's a secondary index or secondary key, that will come, or the short key that I've shown you. So since short key is not defined, so it will not come. So let me give some ID here and click on plus append. You want to write, you want to add name. Okay, let me add name. This is, let me put some name, and then append one more last name. Okay, let me add one list since it is a student, so he's having some subjects list, and let me add one string, that is maths. One more, let me add it science. So this is data I have added. If you want to look it in a text format or JSON format, you can click on here. So this is the data that I'm going to insert, this ID, and these are the, this is called attributes. So these are the attribute, this is the ID. If when we do the same thing with the code as well from our Spring Boot application, so at that time you have to put this data in this format. You can understand it here. This is ID, and this is a type. Number means n means number, s means string, L means list. So this is where it's defined in DynamoDB. So let's save it. So I have created one record, one item that is having ID 1, last name and subject. Now let me add one more record which is completely different from this. I mean, only ID will be common, otherwise rest attribute will be different. So I'm giving it 100. Let me add one name which is address, right? Address, like I'm writing here Srinagar. Let me add my one number type, that is pin code 10 10 10 10, right? Let me save it. You can see here once again, this is completely different from the last. Only thing is that side is column, so it's a key pair value, so key will be as defined as should be, and rest can be anything in object format. So this data is created. So you can see here this two records I have created. So and now here is one column called capacity. So this is same where I was just discussing with you in the couple of minutes back. What a kind of what a mode that is provided. to read and write capacity. This is a provision, this is on demand. So free tier eligible is provision, so you have taken this default value is 5 and 5. You can change it, no doubt, and if it will if it will hit the threshold, then this charge may be applied to you. This is auto scaling. If you want in free tier you want to auto scale it, you can check this box and save it. So right now I'm not doing that. This is on demand. So coming to back, so let's query this data, right? So there are two type of query. One is scan and another one is query. So let us scan it. Scan basically what it does, it reads each and every item of a given table, right? So I mean there is two record right now. Suppose I want to add some filter, like give me those record which let me edit it so that we can, okay, leave it, no issue. Let me find those record which name is name, I mean the attribute value, the type of the attribute value, whether it is equal, doesn't matter, is it contain or anything. So right now I'm taking equal and I am giving Ravi. So it should ideally filter only, it will show only one record, that is record ID 1. Let me put that. That's fine, this was expected, right? Even even you use this to begin with like array. So it's a kind of wildcard search, you can say, again showing the same record, right? And let me create one more item that is having bit same column, which is having name, nothing else, just saving it. Sorry, this is 13. So right now let me clear the filter. So there are three records. Now I'm adding one more filter based on the name, and value start with value equal to Raju. And just to clarify the search, that's why I've added the same on the record on the same pattern, which is having the common columns, common attributes. So it will show you Raju. So that record will be shown, and this is how a scan works. So scan is already always costlier, I mean in terms of searching. uh, I mean since filter is applied after the scanning the record. So once you suppose 100 rows is there, 100 items is there, and the item that we're looking for, this is the 100th item, last one. So it will scan the whole item one by one. One is scan first record. It will find whether name attribute is there. If there, so Raju is there. Is its value is Raju? No. It will keep on, keep on. If it is find, if it will find the record something like suppose at 15 index, it will keep there. Then again move on. So for any query, it has to scan the whole database. That's why it is a bit costlier. It best bit slow, we can say. Let try this another one. Let me filter, let me clear the filters, start search. Okay, all record is there. Let me query it now. In query, what happens, whatever keys that you find, that is looked up. I mean based on that key it will find the record, just like where condition in SQL database. So whenever you pass the where condition, it will fetch that particular record. But how, I mean I'm talking about this SQL database. In NoSQL, how this works, in NoSQL, whatever your ID is there, this ID is nothing but partition ID. So let me a bit explain this. Partition ID is the memory location. We know there's a hashed key, and so whenever you are putting like record ID because partition key is one I'm putting here, it means that it will get hashed and it directly what are the values coming up, the hashed value, it will directly locate it. So it will download will jump that particular point, and whatever data is there, it will take it out, right? Yeah, and I mean one more thing, there is a collisions in this also. So and that can be managed easily. And this is like short ascending descending, that's fine, I'm not going to right now use that. So I have put one look query. So let me search it, it is showing the record. It is completely having the record one. So this is the very basic way to search using query. In the query also, this is the same method happen, like it will scan one record, it try to match the partition key. If it is matched, it will stop. Like it believes that since it's a primary key, so it believes that there will be only one key, only one record. So other operation, you can say, like suppose you want to delete, select this whatever you want to delete, go action and do all the operation here, right? So this is how it is working. So let's finish it. Thank you guys.